Hello everyone, this is Victory and we are looking at quadratic expression. Today we are going to be learning how to factorize quadratic expression. So we are looking at factorization of Q. That's my quadratic expression. Now, I'm aware that some students find it so hard to factorize quadratic expression. And one beautiful problem about it is that any little mistake you make is a problem. But if you stay with me, I am going to show you how to factorize quadratic expression. If you have a student or a kid, your ward, your child that is in SS1, they need this video. They need this video so much. Like this is one of the topics they learned this time and they're going to write it in exam few days from now. Yes, I know a lot of students have read exams, so we'll start very soon. But they need this video. Factorization of quadratic expression. Any SS1 students, SS2, SS3. If they learn how to factorize quadratic expression, they'll keep using it, they'll keep learning it. So even JS3 students also need to learn how to factorize. Now, there is something that is always an issue. If we're able to learn this, we would be able to factorize quadratic expressions. So come to my next, follow me to the next video and we'll learn about quadratic expressions. So we'll go right into the video. We want to learn how to factorize quadratic expression. But let me explain this first. When we say factorization of quadratic expressions just means we want to find two factors of that quadratic expression. What do I mean by factors? Like we want to find two linear expressions that can divide the quadratic expression and the result will be the other one. Let me use this as an example. S squared plus 2s plus 1 is a quadratic expression, right? Now the factors of this quadratic expression is s plus 1 and s plus 1. These are the factors of this quadratic expression. Now, we will get to how we do that. But let me explain what this means. These are factors of the quadratic expression, meaning that they can divide the quadratic expression. If s plus 1 divides this quadratic expression, you will still have s plus 1. We will get to that. And if I expand this, we know that the opposite from JS3, we learned that the opposite of factorization is expansion. If I expand this, that's if I open this bracket, use this to multiply this, I'll get s squared. Use this to multiply this, I'll get s. 1 times s, s. 1 times 1, 1. I'm not teaching expansion, so I believe you know how to open brackets. Use each of the things in the first bracket to multiply the second bracket. So these two are like them. So this is s squared plus 2s plus 1. S plus s is 2s. I hear some students saying 2s squared. How? S plus s is not 2s squared, it's 2s. You are adding. It's just like saying akara plus akara. 1 akara plus 1 akara. It cannot come and give you 2 moi moi. 2s squared is like saying 2 moi moi. S squared and s is not the same thing. They have a different, there is something different. Though they look alike, but they're not the same. So please let's not stop making that mistake. So we can see that we are having this thing back. We are still getting we've gotten our expression back. So that's what we mean by factorizing. If I ask you to factorize a quadratic expression, I want you to get two linear expressions that when you expand them, you get back the quadratic expression. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. So how do we factorize quadratic expression? There are steps we can follow to do that. The first thing I will tell you is when you want to factorize a quadratic expression, multiply the first and the last term. Let's take an example. Okay, let's just take these three first. So in the first one, I am factorizing s squared plus 3s plus 2. Now, if I want to factorize any quadratic expression, what I'm going to be doing is, I'll first of all find the product of the first term and the last term. This is the first term, this is the middle term, and this is the last term. So I'm going to start by finding the product of the first and the last term. So I write products. I like taking note of this. Products. My first term is s squared. Multiply it with the last term. So that's 2s squared. That's 2s squared. So the product now is 2s squared. I will now start asking myself, what two terms? Now the two terms, take note, they will both have s, because we're dealing with s here now. Both of them will have s. So I'll ask, what two factors of 2s squared? Like, what two terms will I multiply together? And I'll get 2s squared. That's the same what two factors. But when I add together, I'll get 3s. So I'll look for two terms that when I multiply, I will get 2s squared. But if I add them, I will have the middle term. You multiply, you get the product. If you add, you get the middle term. So we'll start thinking. So that's now when we have to use our brains. We have to think. Mathematics is critical thinking. So now you consider 2s squared. Now please note that the two things you're looking for must have s in it. The two things you're looking for must have s in it. So on a normal, 2 is 2 times 1, right? So if I give them s, it's going to be 2s, and s. This is like 2 and 1. 1s is s now. So 2s and s are the two things that when I multiply, I will get 2s squared. There's no other possibilities, just 2s and s. Then we'll check, if we add it, are we going to have 3s? Yes, we are going to have 3s when we add it. So that means our factors are 2s, s. So we take that back to our expression. S squared plus 3s plus 2 is now equal to s squared plus. Instead of writing this 3s again, I'm going to carry those my two factors and replace the 3s. So what do I mean? The two factors are positive 2s and positive s. So I'm going to write in 2s plus s plus 2. So after you've gotten those two factors, your work is to carry those two factors and replace the middle term. So you've ended up creating 4 terms. So now when it's 4 terms, you group them in 2s. When it's in 4 terms, group them in 2s. So what did I do first? I found the product of the first and last term. And I look for two factors of that product that when I add it together, I will have the middle term. I now took the two factors, replaced the middle term, and then I will now group them in 2s. The first two terms in a bracket plus, always have a plus, the last two terms in a bracket. So now at this point, I will now start asking myself, what is common between the terms in the brackets? Like if you look at this first one, I have s squared plus 2s. I will now check what is common between two of them. I will now observe that there is an s here and there is an s here. So I'll factor out s. If I factor out s from s squared, I removed s, so that s is dividing the s squared. Factor out s from 2s. I removed s, so the s will divide the 2s. Then what can I factor out between s and 2? That's 1. I hope you know that. There is no number that can divide s and also divide 2. So it's just 1. And they will remain the way they are. Because if one divides any number, it's still that number. But here, s will cancel one of the s. This is s squared, so s will cancel one of it. We'll be having s into s. Then s cancel s, 2, plus 1 into s plus 2. So at the end, how to end it is, first of all, you should observe that the two brackets are going to be the same thing. If your two brackets are not the same, just know you've made a mistake. If your two brackets are not the same thing, just know you've made a mistake and look for where your mistake came from. But once the two brackets are the same, pick out one of the brackets, open another bracket, and put in those things outside, the terms outside the bracket, s and the plus 1. And these are your factors. Was that hard? So what did we do? We found the product of the first term and the last term. We look for two numbers that when they multiply, we get back the product, but when they add, we get the middle term. We now use those two factors to replace the middle term, group them in twos, and factored out what was common between the two terms. And we wrote the ones in the bracket, they were the same as one bracket, and then the ones outside as one bracket. I don't know if that makes sense.